Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I just wanted to take this last opportunity to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you around the world. I promise I'm not going to be mentioning it anymore after today until obviously next year. So ladies and gents, how are you? How are you feeling? Are you really immersed in these energies right now? I've got to be honest with you. It is taking its toll on a lot of people. I did a session with my conscious conversation community last evening, and the consensus across the board is, oh my gosh, I don't know whether I'm coming or going, holding on for dear life. And so I just wanted to touch on that and let you guys know, because I'm not doing my live videos here on YouTube as much anymore. I just wanted to let you guys know that, these energies are still taking place. We are still shifting around constantly right now. So as and when you possibly can, do remember to go with the flow. Do remember that this is your journey, and, you're going to make of it what you need to remember from it. Okay, so as you guys know, I don't say that I'm a teacher or that we have lessons. It's very much about remembering what we got sent here to do. What is it that we are remembering right now? And quite interestingly, that's why I have chosen to do this video today. Probably one of the most asked questions in my inbox, whether that be Instagram, Facebook, my email address, is, Lucy, what is my purpose? How do I find my purpose? What I know I'm here to do something, but what is it? Those kind of questions. So this morning, I had a few messages into my inbox again on this subject. And I thought to myself, right, I'm just going to send an old video. I'm going to send an old link where people can, hear my perspective on it, because it's not that I'm right. It's just a perspective that I'm sharing with you guys. And I was really shocked when I searched my YouTube channel and there was absolutely nothing on purpose. Now, I know I have done many, many, many videos over the years on this subject, and it could well be that they're on Instagram or on Facebook, obviously pre my account being taken back in November 2020, because I haven't done many videos on Facebook since I've been back on there. But I would like to think that that's going to change. And maybe what I can do is stream from my Zoom into Facebook and YouTube. I just need to get my account sorted. So that's something to keep your eyes open for. Anyway, I digress as always. So let's talk about it. How do you find your purpose? Like, what is your purpose? Now, many people, and I'm going to put myself in this bucket, as a child, I knew I was sent here for something massive. Not just, I felt a little bit different. I felt as if I was here to literally change the world. And I know some of you guys feel the same. So, this isn't a competition thing. This is literally just let's bring it up into our consciousness. Were you one of those people, maybe as a youngster, that you thought, nah, this world doesn't make sense to me? I know I'm here for a huge mission, just don't know what it is. And then maybe you're somebody who's got a little bit older and you've gone, hey, hang on a minute. I know that I'm here to do something to help evolve or to change this. And that's how you stepped into it. But from my perspective, it definitely happened when I was little. And what's so fascinating about it is my mum says to everybody she meets, honestly, any boyfriend I introduce her to or anything like that, she's like, wow, we knew at 2 years of age that Lucy was going to be a leader. Honestly, she says it's so embarrassing, but I'm kind of embracing it these days. But the truth of the matter is, like I say, from a young age, I knew. Then I got to about 10 years of age and I switched it off. We had exams, we had school, things got competitive. I was, pretty good at netball. So I was involved in a lot of netball at that point. I won this competition at school, a yearly thing where I was the May Queen for the school, there was all of these things. There was all these distractions that took place. But the biggest distraction I feel that made me step away from recognizing that, maybe there was something that I got sent here to do was I was sat taking my 11 plus exam. Now, I used to live in Bournemouth. I did all of my education in Bournemouth, obviously until university. And I went to a really beautiful school. Like, I love it. I loved the school. It was absolutely amazing. I didn't really want to do the work, but I loved the people. I loved the teachers, and I loved the PE. I was a very sporty child, and still am, I guess. And I was doing this exam called the 11 plus. Now, what happens when you do this exam is you either go to a grammar school or you go on to one of the other schools. So this was my first insight into division and almost like a status thing. Now, you know, that competitive thing within me that was obvious inside of me because of sport kicked in, and I wanted to make sure that I was doing really well. Now, during this exam, a young lad, the same age as myself at the time, ended up having an epileptic fit. He was under so much stress and so much pressure that his body obviously couldn't regulate, and he ended up having an epileptic fit. And I've never forgotten that. You know, 10 years of age, and you're sat in the hall in your school, you know, where you used to go for your assemblies and stuff. We were sat on those little wooden chairs and desks doing our papers, and this poor guy just had a fit, and I'll never forget it. And it was at that point that things shifted for me. I don't know what I would have been like if that hadn't happened. Probably the same, let's be honest about it, because, you know, I truly believe that we are on a path and we do need to experience everything that we need to experience. But there was something in that scenario that made me go from, I'm here to do something really incredible with the world, to, oh my gosh, I need to get my head down and I need to be liked. You know, and please don't get me wrong, you know, I was a very, very popular child at school, very, very popular. It wasn't one of those, I wasn't used to being in a human body, because I know there's a lot of people out there that are so incredibly gifted and you're bringing so much to the world, but this skin suit doesn't make any sense to you. So, you know, and my beautiful nephew is one of those people. He's, you know, I'm not going to share too much, obviously, because it's his personal stuff. But, you know, some of the conversations I've had with him over the years is that this just doesn't make sense to him. So if you've got children, or if you know people that, you know, perhaps they just don't really make sense in the way that you know to be sense. Could be that they're quite early in their incarnations as a human. Could be, you know, that they're used to such a higher vibration that this world just doesn't make sense. And it's quite interestingly, when people come to me about their children having ADHD and things like that, like, for me, that is a sign that you've got one really gifted child. And it's whether they're going to tap into those energies or not. It's whether we can make them feel safe enough living in this environment to be able to step up. Anyway, I digress. Apologies. I digress as always. So here I am as a 10, 11-year-old young girl. This situation had happened, and all of a sudden I almost just went, right, I'm muting that now because it doesn't make sense to me, and I'm going to get on with my life. And as you guys know, that's what I did. From that age all the way up to 35, I was on the hamster wheel. I got really good grades at GCSE level. I went on to college because I didn't really like school. I wanted a bit more flexibility and a bit more freedom. Then I went on to university and I got an amazing job. And then, as you guys know, I climbed the ranks and climbed the ranks and climbed the ranks. I ended up being a director of an investment bank. And then my body stopped working. Now, why did my body stop working? My body stopped working because I wasn't doing what I got sent here to do. And interestingly enough, my body stopped working in 2013, 2014. So just in time for me to get all of the insights as to what was going to come in 2020 and 2021 before other people went through it. So this sounds a bit grand. It sounds as if at 35 years of age in 2013, 2014, I was like, right, that's it. I know my purpose and that's it. And this is the myth. I feel as if this whole purpose thing has been inverted. A bit like when I speak about love being inverted and sex being inverted and the truth being inverted and racism being inverted, like all of those things that we've spoken about really openly and honestly, and all of the inversions, this is no different. The vision that I get when I see this is a carrot being dangled in front of a donkey kind of thing, just to keep it plodding forwards. So somebody out there has decided that we just need to keep these humans not happy, just continuing to search for something outside of themselves. Literally, we're just going to keep following this carrot and following this carrot, but there's somebody sat on your back with a fishing rod, dangling in front of you. And hopefully that will go a little bit to explaining, pictorially what I get from this. Now, do I believe that everybody has a purpose? And I'm talking like a grand purpose. Absolutely. Yes, I do. Absolutely, I do. Whether it's you're here to change the world, maybe you're here to change your family, maybe you're here to birth the next Jesus. Like there's so many different things that could be your purpose here on this planet. But before we get to that, before we even should be looking at that, from my perspective, there are a few things that are our purpose. So I'm going to share those with you today and hope that some of this will make sense to you. Some of this, as you sit with it, will feel better for you. And then maybe you can start taking the leaps and bounds to actually getting to your grand purpose. Okay? So purpose number 1 is to be happy. We live in a world whereby it's very easy to choose sadness or hurt or anger or pain or any of those, grief, those lower vibrational emotions. We live in a world where that's so normalized. So imagine if you chose to see the good and chose to be happy every day, even if, the shit's really hitting the fan over there, you can still see the good in it. You can still see the positive that is involved in that situation. You can look at it and be like, right, this is growth for me. Now, I'm not talking about maybe instantly doing that, but you do choose the happy side of things. I believe that that's purpose number 1. Now, why do I believe that's purpose number 1? Because if you can choose happy over sad, anger, pain, hurt, grief, resentment, those kind of things, already you're vibrating at a much higher level to those that are going to be sat down in there. And I'll come back to that in a moment. The second purpose I feel that we all have, living a human existence in this crazy skin suit that we're all wearing, is love. Our job when we incarnated into these vessels was to remember how to love and how to be loved. Now, love is one of the highest vibrational frequencies that we can experience. You know what it's like when you fall in love. Oh my gosh, it's like all the birds are singing. The world is just a better place. Now, the biggest inversion of both of those things is we've been convinced that that is outside of us. We can love that person, or we can love that thing, or we should be happy because we've bought this thing, or we've, it's very thing related, materialistic. When actually our purpose is to bring our divine wisdom from wherever we've come from before into this human vessel and allow happiness and love to exude from us so much that everybody else around us that maybe have forgotten their path Remember those frequencies. Now, if you're on my Instagram channel, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I can do a video and I tell people that I love them, and I tell people, you know, how happy I am and how happy I am for them that they're experiencing certain things and whatever. And I live and I walk my talk. I'm not saying that I don't cry. Yes, I cry. I'm not saying that I don't get angry. It's very rare. However, I do still have those emotions. I'm not saying I'm an emotional robot. Nothing of the sort. I've just remembered that I am here to embody love, to remind the human race that I'm taking them from their head into their heart space for the greatest good of humanity. Now, the how is irrelevant. I had no idea some of the things were going to come up for me, some of the opportunities, some of the curveballs, all of those things. Like, I didn't know. I didn't know how that was going to look. When I figured this out after loving myself and being happy in myself for about 2 years after my burnout, that's when I channeled the Self-Love Club membership program, which is obviously a pretty well-known program around the world now. That's when I channeled that I was going to be helping all of these different people heal in many, many different ways. That's when I channeled the healing centers, those 5 healing centers that I've got connected to around the world. So for as long as we're looking for our purpose outside of us, we won't find it. We must take the steps to love and to be loved and to choose happiness or any of the higher vibrational emotions, you know, those higher frequencies. Because once we can live in that, and once we choose that every single day, your purpose, your actual purpose, your grand purpose will come through to you. And let me be straight with you, ladies and gents, when it does, your mind will go, oh yeah, but how am I going to achieve that? How am I going to do that? Blah, 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 blah. Welcome to, you know, the human experience. But the truth of the matter is, for as long as we're searching outside, we're not allowing those feelings to be inside of us so that then we can truly connect and then we can share outward with the world. Now, some of you out there might be like, yeah, okay, Lucy, but I get that. But, you know, maybe I'm not 100% happy with myself, or maybe I don't love myself as much as I should do, but I know I'm here to be a healer. I know I'm here to be a healer. I just don't know how I'm going to do it. Again, the how will become clear the more you really step into that journey. And some people do know. I didn't know. I didn't know I was a healer until I healed myself. And then all of a sudden I can help other people around the world heal. I didn't know that I was a communicator until I started communicating. So this is the whole point of the journey. As you step up and you recognize that you are going to choose these higher vibrational frequencies, that's when life shifts in a massive way for you. Now, I'm just going to caveat that because this just came in as I was speaking then. Some of you will be like, yeah, well, every time I choose to be happy, I have a curveball get thrown at me. You know, I decided yesterday I was going to be happy and then someone knocked into my car today. Remember, you'll always be tested. Just because you decide today that you're going to be happy from now onwards doesn't mean you're not going to be tested. Doesn't work like that. Not in this current paradigm that we're living in, ladies and gents. This paradigm we are living in right now, if you decide to do something, you are going to get a curveball to see if it's actually congruent to you. And I've done videos on this, many videos on this. If you decide I am going to be happy, and then at the first opportunity you have a meltdown, you have a hissy fit or whatever, like whatever happens with you, please do know that the universe will be like, oh, they're clearly not bothered by that then. Okay, we'll go and take this to somebody else. We really do all have the same opportunities. I'm very, very, very lucky. I have been able to travel the world significantly since I quit corporate back in 2017. Obviously, other than lockdown, I've been able to travel significantly. I've lived in Thailand, I've lived in Bali, I've lived in Australia. I've traveled the whole of America. I've traveled a massive part of South and Central America. I've been to India, you name it. I've been able to go and experience all of these incredible things. And one thing that always came up when I was traveling the world, and I didn't know why, was I would always cross paths with incredible healers. Always. I would always end up in a situation where I am plonked in front of a very, very, very powerful healer. I never set out for that. The universe took me where she needed to take me because I was like, nothing's going to stop me. Like, I know I've got a big mission here. I know that it's global. There was a reason I was a global project manager. There was a reason I ran huge multi-million-dollar global projects. There was a reason for that. And I truly believe that. I don't look at it and think, oh my God, I wasted 15 years of my life. I actually say, right, they gave me those skills for a reason. Now, what do I need to put them in place for? So look at your path, ladies and gents. Look back. Where have you come from? What have you been doing? And then think, what am I passionate about? Am I really living in love and in happiness? Am I allowing things to flow into me? And then start just going with the flow. Now, I'm going to caveat this because you might be sat there now going, oh God, isn't it lovely to just flit around the world and do whatever? Trust me, I was the biggest control freak pre-2017, probably pre-2015 to be fair. But between 2015 and 2017, I was really nurturing that controlling, needing to plan, needing to do this, needing to do that. I was nurturing that out of me, and it takes time. So if your inner control freak is like, well, I couldn't just do that, and it's all right for you, like, just learn to surrender, learn to go with the flow, learn to allow your beautiful divine feminine energy, which is in all of us, by the way, men and women, to just take control and just allow you to go with the flow a little bit. Because as soon as I surrendered, I finished working in September 2017. By the end of September, I was in the Middle East. I had no plan. I didn't know what I was doing. People kept saying to me, like, what are you doing? And I'd started my coaching business in 2015. As you guys know, I coach people one-to-one in groups and through my programs now. But at the time, it was just a one-to-one business. And I had no clue. I didn't know what I was going to be doing. Yes, I had clients, but I was like, I don't know. I've just got this real pull to go around the world. And that's what happened. And I'm really incredibly lucky that I've been able to experience so much gold. And I've met so many incredible people in and around the world that I've gone, wow, I definitely needed to meet that person. Like, how did they know that I needed to be in this tiny little specific place in Guatemala for me to meet that person so that I can bring that gold back and I can share it with people and help them heal? It's because there's a plan. There's a divine plan that is far bigger than any of us. And your piece in that plan is massive. But the first step to get there is love. The first step to get there is choosing happiness. And then you really will know how to find your purpose. Ladies and gents, I hope that you have found this video useful. Well overdue, I think. Well overdue. And I just like the information that's just been coming through me as I've been doing it. There's just been little visions that I've been getting and things like that. So please do comment below if this resonates with you. if it's something that you feel you can do, and you're in a control freak, might be sat there now going, yeah, but I can't wait. I'm not patient enough for that. Like, just tell me, woman, just tell me. You know, please do be honest in your comments. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel and this video resonated with you, please do subscribe. I will be doing so many more videos, and I've got some interesting collaborations that are coming up over the coming weeks as well. So ladies and gents, as always, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to link back to the January energy update because it is freaking powerful. I'm going to link it back now. Have the most incredible day, guys, and I will see you in the next video. Lots of love.